Most people drift through their lives without ever realizing how little control they actually exercise. They wake up because an alarm demands it, move through routines shaped by obligations, and react to circumstances rather than consciously directing them. Deep down, they sense something is off, that they're passengers in their own lives rather than the ones steering. And the uncomfortable truth is simple. If you're not deliberately taking charge, life is driving for you, and it rarely takes you anywhere you genuinely want to end up. I once spoke with a man who spent half an hour listing every external reason for his unhappiness. His boss undervalued him, his spouse misunderstood him, the economy treated him unfairly, his upbringing wasn't supportive enough, and competition always seemed stacked against him. When he finally paused, I asked, "How long have you been telling yourself this story?" He stared at me, confused. I clarified, "How many years have you been explaining why none of this is your responsibility?" After some thought, he whispered, "Maybe 20 years." 2 decades spent reinforcing a narrative that protected him from change, but also prevented progress. That's the true cost of blame. It drains time, limits opportunities, blocks growth, and ultimately keeps you from fully living. Blame feels comfortable because it shields you from the discomfort of confronting your own choices. But the instant you stop blaming is the instant genuine transformation becomes possible. Challenges will still appear. Everyone faces setbacks, losses, rejections, and unexpected problems. But what separates successful people from everyone else is their refusal to settle in the victim mindset. They experience pain like everyone else, but they move through it, learn from it, and continue forward rather than turning temporary hardship into a permanent identity. Taking back control begins with personal responsibility. It's not philosophical, it's practical and immediate. When you oversleep, you don't blame the alarm. When your health declines, you don't blame your genetics or your schedule. When your finances suffer, you don't only blame the government or your employer. When relationships fall apart, you look beyond the faults of others and ask the uncomfortable but empowering question, what part did I play in this? That shift alone moves you from powerless to capable in an instant. Your current life is the accumulated result of countless past choices, many tiny, some large, all compounding over time. Your underlying philosophy shapes your attitude drives your actions, and your actions forge your results. Trying to change results without changing the mindset behind them is like trying to change a reflection without touching what's in front of the mirror. If you want a different life, you must begin with different thinking. Many people trap themselves with statements like, "I can't help it. I'm not a morning person. I'm terrible with money. I have a temper. That's just how I was raised." But the truth is, most of these limitations can be changed. Slowly, yes. Uncomfortably, yes. But changed. A non-morning person can create a better routine. Someone bad with money can learn basic financial skills. A person with a temper can practice emotional management. Someone shaped by a difficult upbringing can choose different patterns. The key is owning the responsibility to change. I once met a woman who filed bankruptcy twice. She blamed outside forces both times, but the third time she said, "I did this. I ignored the same warning signs." That moment of ownership became the foundation for real growth. She rebuilt again, this time with discipline and new skills. And that business thrived because she finally understood that her success depended on her development. Responsibility literally means the ability to respond. Someone stuck in blame only reacts, but someone who owns their life responds intentionally, adjusting strategies when the economy shifts, preparing when circumstances change, choosing boundaries when people mistreat them. Every situation becomes a moment where they consciously choose their next step rather than being dragged by emotion or excuses. Success is never accidental. It comes from design, not luck. High achievers act like architects. They create blueprints for the life they want instead of waiting to see what life hands them. Wishes don't create change. Clear goals do. Goals with structure, deadlines, and measurable steps. A carpenter would never build a house without plans. Yet most people try to build their lives with nothing more than vague wishes. What you measure improves, and what you measure consistently improves dramatically. But most people carefully track distractions, follower counts, entertainment, statistics, while ignoring meaningful metrics like health, savings, skills, or personal growth. Writing down goals creates clarity because it moves them from abstract ideas to concrete commitments. Reviewing them weekly prevents drift and keeps your direction intentional. Time reveals your real priorities. Everyone gets 168 hours each week, no more, no less. After accounting for sleep and work, dozens of hours remain, and those hours determine whether you progress or stay stuck. Devoting even 2 hours a day to your most important goal adds up to more than 700 hours a year. Time enough to change careers, build a business, transform your health, or acquire expertise. Small actions repeated, reading, saving, walking, practicing, become transformative. Neglect repeated becomes destructive. Both are compounding every day, whether you notice or not. To bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be, you need both vision and action. Vision without action is fantasy. Action without vision is wasted energy. Clear goals give direction. Daily habits create momentum. Writing a book happens through a few hundred words a day. Financial improvement comes from repeated discipline. Strong relationships come from consistent connection. These actions seem small and unglamorous, but over time, they build what others call luck. Quiet effort becomes visible success. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you feed it grows. Feed it negativity and fear expands. Feed it gossip and insecurity deepens. Feed it learning, wisdom, and inspiration, and capability grows. Ignorance is expensive. Professionals who stop learning become irrelevant. In a rapidly changing world, standing still means falling behind. The most successful people stay lifelong students. They invest in their growth more than in entertainment. A single book or idea can save years of mistakes. Yet many people spend freely on distractions but hesitate to spend modest amounts on their own development. But the mind is the highest return investment you will ever make. Your environment shapes you as well. You become like the people you spend the most time with. Complainers create more complaining. Mediocrity normalizes mediocrity. You can love people without letting them limit you. Some relationships belong to past chapters, not future ones. If you want to grow, seek people who lift you higher. Show up where they show up. Learn what they learn. Bring effort, humility, and value. Success is simple but not easy. Most people want the reward without the routine. They want the harvest without the planting. But life operates in seasons. You plant, nurture, and eventually harvest. Miss the planting season and there is no harvest, no matter how much you wish for one. Over years, missed seasons become a missed life. Persistence and patience outperform talent and luck in the long run. Victory often belongs simply to the person who refused to quit. Everything comes back to one central truth. You are the architect of your life, not the victim, not the passenger, the architect. You're holding the pen that writes your future. The only real question is whether you're writing intentionally or letting circumstances write for you. No one can take the steps for you. The discipline, the effort, the sacrifices, they're yours, and so are the results. If nothing changes, your habits, your thinking, your environment, 5 years from now, you'll be in the same place. Time will pass regardless. You either steer it or drift with it. Now imagine 5 years of consistent growth, learning, saving, practicing, building. Imagine 5 years of choosing responsibility instead of excuses. That future version of you exists, but only if you begin now. Not someday, not when things are perfect. Today. Because tomorrow is just a comfortable excuse. Today is the only place transformation ever begins. You already know what you need to do. So decide. Take ownership. Claim your life. And take the wheel. The road ahead is yours. And this time, you're finally driving it with intention.